If you want to get rich, you should study what people who have gotten rich have done. And not just what they have done, but how they think and how they make decisions. And so much about growing wealth is getting out of your own way and overcoming some of the mindset traps that we fall into that can prevent us from accumulating and attracting wealth. And so I thought today I would just riff on a few money mindset beliefs that lead to good decision making, that lead to good behaviors, and that attract and help you accumulate money. So with that, I have 5 money mindset beliefs specifically targeted at entrepreneurs. Well, because this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and most people who are in my audience are entrepreneurial in some way, shape, or form. So here are the 5 wealth attraction secrets for you. Number 1, there are 2 economies. So I was speaking with someone recently, and this was about my fractional CMO service. And he did the math, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. That said, it is also very cheap. What do I mean by that? Well, the price tag for my fractional CMO service to get me in there and fully engaged in helping you grow your business on a monthly basis, it's a significant investment, right? And yet, if I help you come up with and then implement the strategies that are able to grow your business, add $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million in revenue or more, right? How much is that worth? How much is it worth to you to take your business from 5 million to 8 million? How much is it worth to you to take your business from 3 million to 10 million, right? And how much would you be willing to invest now to get that? But this particular person was very focused on the dollars per hour number and comparing the dollars per hour of me as a fractional CMO to what it would cost to hire me for 40 hours per week, because fractional is fractional. It's a portion of my schedule, right? What it would cost to hire me for 40 hours per week to do this kind of work. And what this reflects is it's a concept that I got from Dan Sullivan about the 2 economies that exist. So on one hand, there is the time and effort economy, where for the most part, value of labor is measured by how much time and effort is expended. And this is a good way to stay stuck in this place where you have to work more to get paid more, right? And it is a very it's not an entrepreneurial mentality at all. So this person did this much work, this much time, and got paid this much. And all of that is how value is calculated. And there is definitely an upper limit on that, right? You can only, if you tell someone your hourly rate, the challenge that they run into is it's hard for them to conceive paying an hourly rate above a certain amount, right? Versus the results economy, which is getting paid for results. So as a copywriter, I realized very early on that I loved getting paid royalties because I want to be incentivized to generate bigger results, right? And so the results economy is, this person wrote a sales letter that generated $1 million in whatever time period, and they're getting 5% of the results. Okay, so that's $50,000. It does not matter how much time was spent on that sales letter. It's $50,000. And the other person, the person making that payment has $950,000 in revenue. In addition, that was generated, right? And the value of entrepreneurial work is most often reflected in results. whatever that value creation is, whether it's innovation of the product, the service, or the marketing and sales of the product or service, right? And entrepreneurs, people who become wealthy through entrepreneurship especially, focus on living in the results economy, not the time and effort economy. So that's wealth attraction secret number one. Number two is invest in shortcuts. Invest in shortcuts. So, for example, recently I decided that I was going to launch this fractional CMO service. And I could have come up, like I was already doing much of the work. I understood the work. I understood it from a high level perspective. But I decided to invest in Casey Stanton's coaching for fractional CMOs because he had certain things laid out. He had certain work agreements outlined. He had offer structures outlined. He had acquisition systems outlined. He had customer service, and not like answering the phone's customer service, but how do you deliver the service, structures and standard operating procedures outlined, right? And I could spend the next 6 months, 12 months trying to come up with that stuff on my own, and I would come up with something very good. Or I could take his and within a month innovate most of it very quickly into my own and probably have it be even better than I would have done on my own. So investing in the higher ticket coaching in order to launch this service, just because it gave me all of those shortcuts, is absolutely a smart investment and an example of this type of investing in shortcuts that you want to do. Likewise, investing in someone who already understands how to build the conversion system that you want to build, how to achieve the traffic results that you want to achieve, how to structure offers, how to lead a team, right? Like you're investing in proven systems and processes, right? This is where you do help. This is where you get help. This is where you do hiring. The whole point is that you can accelerate your success, your long-term success, by investing in shortcuts today. And what may be more expensive today can yield a greater result sooner in the future and a greater result for the long run. Okay. Secret number three, time is a non-renewable resource. So one of the reasons you might want to invest in shortcuts is the next 12 months versus the next 1 month getting up to speed on something, right? Just as an example, there is a big advantage to getting up to speed quicker, right? Likewise, your day spent focused on something small, something big, whatever, you can spend money and you can get money back, but you can't spend an hour and ever get that hour back, right? So you want to use time wisely. You want to use money to buy time as much as possible. In some cases, you want to use money to buy time. I'm focusing a lot on work, but you also want to use money to buy time away from work, right? One of the reasons that you might, for example, add someone to your team is so you don't have to work 60, 70 hours. So you can outsource some of whatever is the appropriate work to outsource at the point of growth that you're at, whether that is the tactical work in the business or the strategic work on the business, the leadership of the business, right? You can buy your own time by investing in someone to fill those roles. And kind of tied to this is money favors speed. When you do things fast, there is something that happens. You start to send out shockwaves into the universe or vibrations into the universe or whatever. When you do things fast, it tends to be extremely beneficial in terms of wealth attraction and accumulation. All right, number 4, there is cost and there is opportunity cost. The other day, my son wanted to buy some. He wanted to just spend some money, right? He had something he wanted to buy. And he was saying, I have the money, I can spend it. And I wasn't disagreeing with him, right? I was saying, yes, you have the money. But I was challenging him to really think about his choice of investment, his choice of spending, and to make sure that it was a good decision before he just let the money fly out the window, right? Maybe that's a secret 4.5 or whatever is to really consider and be intentional with your spending. But back to this cost versus opportunity cost. When you think about cost, you think about spending the money versus not spending the money, right? When you think about opportunity cost, it's about what else you could do with that money. And so if you choose to spend money on, I don't know, let's say a boat, you could also invest that in growing your business and be able to buy 5 boats down the road. If you choose to spend money on some disposable resource versus some enduring resource or cash generation resource, right? Then you're going to end up in a different situation. And so it's not just, do I have the money to spend to get the thing that I want, often, from an instant gratification perspective, but rather it's, what all could this money do for me? And in some cases, it might make sense to invest it for the long term and not spend it right away. In some cases, it might make sense to spend it on one thing versus another. There's lots of different scenarios here, but it's always worth considering, what all could this money do for me? And which one of those is the best opportunity, right? And to think in terms of opportunity cost, not just cost. The other thing is that time has an opportunity cost, right? You can spend your time on low value activities, you can spend your time on high value activities, and making that decision for how you're investing your time can also be a very intelligent thing to do. Wealth attraction secret number 5. This one's a fun one. Get paid up front. Get paid up front. This stuck with me from Dan Kennedy from years ago. I heard him say that he said, poor people get paid after they do the work. Rich people get paid ahead of time, right? And he said, basically, when you want to be wealthy, one of the things that you need to do is find a way to get paid prior to your work, prior to the commitment. And it stuck with me really early on. And this is, for example, one of the reasons why when companies have hired me for copywriting services, they pay 50% upfront just to get the time on my schedule. And they pay 50% afterwards. For my fractional CMO services, you pay in advance for the month, and then the service is delivered for the month. For any kind of service work where you are an outside contractor, you're saving yourself some big headaches here. But also you have exposure to the time value of money. Basically, the time value of money is that money received now is more valuable than money received later. So for example, if you are trying to scale an ad campaign and you have a subscription product that is either billed on a monthly basis or a 6-month basis, if you are able to get that 6-month subscription, you're able to scale much quicker because you're getting more money up front, which you can then reinvest into traffic, and get more money up front and reinvest it into traffic. And maybe you put options in front of them, but maybe you highlight the 6-month option. Maybe you offer some kind of discount on the 6-month option because it actually is more valuable than money received later. And so that's the idea of accelerated revenue here, that any time that you can get paid up front, there is a significant advantage to that. Now, this is, far from being all the wealth attraction secrets and money mindset beliefs of rich entrepreneurs, but it is a good start for some very important lessons that you can use going forward. So my call to action for you at the end of this episode is ask yourself how you can use this, right? Which one of these really shook you and gives you inspiration for what you might want to do or change in your life for wealth accumulation. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get more content like this delivered to you. And one of the things about these money mindset things is they can run pretty deep. They can be subconsciously impactful in how we approach our days, how we behave, the decisions that we make. And it pays to get really in touch with your subconscious and to clear out any junk that you have going on there and to make intentional use of your subconscious success mechanism to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve in life. And I do have a training called Training Your Subconscious Success Mechanism that I will link to in the description. If you're looking to change your mindset and your beliefs to accumulate wealth or to achieve whatever you want to achieve, that is the process by which you do it. And so you should check that out. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I'll see you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.